Welcome to This Kind of Girl. I'm so glad that you could make it to be here with me today. This channel is all about diving into the real, often surprising, sometimes messy, wonderful world of ethical non-monogamy and the swinger lifestyle. Here I share my experiences, insights, and answer your burning questions that you probably have. Often, these are the questions that nobody is talking about. Think of it as a space where you can expect no judgment, a friendly guide, and somebody who is here to help you explore the world of alternative relationships. Hello, my name is Rosie Kay. I am an open relationship coach and swinger lifestyle expert, and I like to share with people sometimes the surprising truths and also kind of dive into what are misconceptions about the lifestyle and explain them for you all. Today, we are taking a closer look at hotwifing, cuckolding, and stags and exploring different dynamics because very often people are not quite sure what these terminologies mean. You may see them online, you may hear people refer to them as one of these, you may have heard it, and you may be left thinking, what are people on about? Also, you may be practicing one of these without quite realizing. So, have you ever heard some terms and thought, wait, what is the difference between these things? Or is that for real? How do people practice that? Or why do they practice it? If this is you, you're not alone. The world of ethical non-monogamy is vast, it's exciting, and today we're pulling back the curtains on three popular, very often misunderstood dynamics: hotwifing, cuckolding, and stags. So get ready for some real talk, a few laughs, and some clear explanations to demystify these terms. We'll cover each, talk about what it is, what it most definitely isn't, and what you can expect if you're curious about exploring them. So let's dive straight into it. The first one I want to talk about today is hotwifing. Hotwifing is a dynamic where a woman, the hotwife, engages in sexual activity with other partners and often with her primary male partner's full knowledge, enthusiastic encouragement, and sometimes even presence. It's frequently about the male partner's arousal from seeing his partner desired by others, celebrating her desirability, and the thrill of sharing in a consensual, agreed upon way. So that's what it is. What it isn't, okay, it's crucial to understand that hotwifing is not cheating. It's built on consent, it's built on shared excitement, and it's very much something which is enjoyed by both parties. It's also not necessarily about the male partner being excluded or humiliated. In fact, his pleasure is often central to this dynamic, and the hot wife isn't a passive participant. She's often highly, um, you know, a highly self-driven woman. She decides what happens. She sought out these guys for herself. She decides what happens. She's established her own rules and boundaries, and she's enjoying her sexuality. I've worked with many couple clients who have decided to explore the hot wife dynamic. Who've been kind of like unsure about their place in the lifestyle and unsure about what they want to enjoy and have found hot wifing and have really grown into this dynamic. So it is quite popular. It is something which I can certainly help you with if you're curious. Now, if you're curious about it, what to expect. Now, if you're exploring hot wifing, expect intense communication around boundaries, desires, and feelings. The male partner often experiences a unique form of compersion, which is joy for your partner's joy. And it's typically focused on the woman's pleasure with a strong foundation of trust between primary partners. So that's what hotwifing is all about. And the next one is cuckolding. You may be familiar with cuckolding. I myself have been in cuckold relationships where I have been the dominant partner and I've had a cuckolded male partner. So it's something that I quite enjoy myself personally. I've written about it, I've podcasted about it, I've shared my experiences. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But cuckolding, what is it? Now, cuckolding is dynamic where a male partner, the cuckold, derives sexual pleasure or arousal specifically from his female partner engaging in activity with another man or maybe another woman, but usually a guy, who is sometimes known as the bull. key distinguishing features here is often the element of humiliation, degradation, or power exchange experienced by the cuckold, which is his specific turn on. Quite different to hotwifing in that there isn't really any of the degradation and humiliation for the guy whose partner is engaging in activity with somebody else, whereas cuckolding, that forms part of the thrill. Okay. Really important to remember that. Now, what it isn't, while it involves a woman with another man, cuckolding is different from hotwifing because of that specific focus on the male partner's experience of humiliation and his powerlessness, if you like, as a source of arousal. It's not um, always about the female partner having kind of like no agency. Her consent and her active participation are still paramount. Usually, if you're in a cuckold relationship, then you're usually a dominant woman. So you're all about putting your needs and your pleasure at the forefront, and driving whatever activity you enjoy by whatever you want to happen for yourself, essentially. Um, and it's definitely not about being forced or coerced. It's a consensual fantasy. Again, when I've been in relationships, cuckold relationships, and we've gone to swinger clubs and we've enjoyed things with the people, I've been the one to decide what happens with other people, but we've had a lot of prior conversation about this. So it's not just at random. We haven't kind of like gone, he hasn't gone, oh, do whatever and invite whoever and do whatever to me. It's all been very much part of a bigger, a bigger plan. And there's a lot of conversation gone on to discuss limits and boundaries and things like that. So this dynamic often involves deep psychological and emotional play. Expect very clear and detailed negotiations around specific boundaries relating to humiliation or degradation as it involves vulnerable feelings and emotions. It requires immense trust and a strong understanding of each partner's specific turn-ons and limits to ensure it remains pleasurable and safe for everyone involved. Um, so yeah, it's not something to be kind of just decided on lightly. Essentially, it takes an awful lot of communication. And established trust. It's not something that you kind of like just casually dip into, I feel. People take it very seriously because it should be. And people take it to extreme limits as well. But again, it's very, very popular. You may be surprised that quite a lot of guys are actually looking for this. And again, if you want to explore this, if it's something which has piqued your interest, I have worked with clients who have been wanting to explore it. I do have personal experience of it as well that I really like diving into. So yeah, definitely one which not for the faint of heart, but for me, very enjoyable. The next one I want to talk about is Stag Vixen. Now, the Stag Vixen dynamic is where the female partner, the Vixen, goes out to engage with other men, often alone or with her male partner, the Stag, observing from a distance or waiting elsewhere. The primary focus here is on the Vixen's independent adventures and the Stag's arousal derived from her experiences, often through her recounting stories or his observation. Kind of similar to the hot wife dynamic, essentially. Um, it isn't about the stag being completely passive or left out. His role is often active in encouraging and supporting her exploration. It's also not about the vixen being sent out without care. It's a mutually agreed upon, negotiated dynamic where her pleasure are central. Again, what to expect. High levels of trust are essential as the vixen is exploring independently, much the same as the stag. The stag is very similar role, but the male counterpart essentially, where the guy goes off and explores alone, but not, it's not that he's going off independently without kind of like that prior conversation. It's two people who are extremely confident. And on their journey and wanting to explore. And maybe it would suit people who are in kind of like an open relationship. You could say like a stag or a vixen open relationship, where they go on out and meet other people, but then they talk about it and they kind of like have that mutual agreement and that mutual enjoyment as well. And also that mutual kind of compersion and find joy in their partner's joy. So what to expect? Expect strong communication, as ever, about experiences, feelings, and boundaries before, during, and after. Dynamic thrives on the stag's enjoyment of his partners. independent sexual agency and the excitement generated by her stories and adventures. And very much the same if you're the female and it's your man who goes out to enjoy things. It's reciprocated essentially. So I hope that's made sense. So, in conclusion, let's talk about hotwifing, cuckolding, stag vixen dynamics. They are all unique facets of ethical non-monogamy. They're diverse, they're complex, and they require immense communication. They require deep trust and a clear understanding of desires and boundaries. Remember, there is no wrong or right way to explore pleasure, to explore connection, as long as it is consensual, respectful, and brings joy and excitement and fun to all involved. It's your journey and essentially it's your rules. So I would love to know which dynamic intrigued you most. Did any appeal to you? Did any absolutely not appeal to you? Um, Please don't forget to follow, to subscribe to my channel, to like this video. And if you're hungry for more, if you want to find out my own kind of personal stories, my insights, my what led me down the dark path of kind of BDSM relationships and swinging and becoming a dominant and having a cuckold and all these things that I've been involved in, why not come over and join me in my TKG Club, where you can listen to my podcasts, you can gain exclusive insights into navigating every step of your ENM journey. So yeah, come and join us over in TKG Club. Hit the link down there in the description to this video where you can access everything without limits. Thank you very much for watching. I've really enjoyed being here today, and I shall see you all next time.